Hey y'all. Bit of a slightly different episode this time around. The original footage for episode 79 I felt were a little bit, well, I still have the footage, but the audio for it, let's just say I lost the audio for the original footage, which is kind of a good thing, honestly. One, I've recorded it was I shouldn't have. I was really tired and I wasn't really thinking too much. But I can transfer this over to here, get a little bit of music going, and let this play. I'm only going to let this footage play a little bit. Now, why is that? This is about the new Wraith. Marvin Sale put out an update which kind of reworked Wraith a little bit to work in some other teams. Well, not work in other teams, actually. But he changed. Let me pull up the Patreon page. So, Sisters got a slight adjustment. Oh, let me turn that down. Just a tad. There we go. So, Sisters got updated. Dodge lowered by 5, and tooltip for position was shortened. Trespass. The accuracy in rank 1 was lowered from 10 or to minus 10 for minus 15. That's good. At first I didn't know how I felt about the Sisters changes, and I'm like, they're okay. They're better. I like the Sisters. I still like playing them. It's still very impactful, very fun class to play. And the Thrall changes are really fun. Thrall is amazing as always. Spam and Trample from rank 4. I have no issues with those. My issues come with Wraith. Wraith does not feel good to play. The only really impactful thing he has is Reap, which can do a lot of damage, but it kind of got rid of some of his team synergy. Even in Vanilla Darkest Dungeon, Bounty Hunter can, which is the direct comparison for Wraith, Bounty Hunter can function in a team without marks, even, and still be pretty good. Wraith needs either stuns or marks, or both. Before the change, he could function pretty comfortably in bleed teams, and all that stuff. But that's sadly not the case anymore. Most notably due to Reap, no longer does like bonus damage versus bleeding. It has accuracy versus bleeding. The damage versus marked went up to 100% at all levels, instead of a scaling from 45 to 75% versus marked. And then he had like a 25 to 35% damage versus bleeding scaling, which is fine, but you can throw him in the bleed team and he can still perform pretty decent, you know. So Reap hits harder, but at the cost of like versatility, essentially. Death Sentence was completely changed. Instead of giving crits received chance debuff, it now it's something you would only use in like elites and boss fights, where it now debuffs the target 10 to 20% damage taken, but only if their HP is below 50%. Now, I've stated a couple classes that do a mark that have damage received are really strong. I would have just preferred keeping the crits received chance. It felt appropriate for the Wraith. Now, some of the good things that were changed on the Wraith I will cover right now. Incarcerate, Sap, and Chain Gang. All good changes. I think those are the three skills I felt needed to change, basically. Like, Incarcerate and Sap are now like mirrors of each other. Sap now pushes back 1, Incarcerate pulls 1 instead of pulls 2. They both now debuff speed while stunned, and they kind of like follow the same stats, or same accuracy and crit. which is fine. I think Incarcerate is lower crit. I can't remember off the top of my head. So Incarcerate and Sap, good. Chain Gang is now limited to 3 uses per battle, which is good. It now no longer deals any damage and cannot crit. I'm fine with it. It's a double stun. Stuns are strong. You can't really mess up a stun. So his stuns feel great. I mean, their stuns, they are a little boring to use, but that's not my main issue with Wraith. But Marv, if for some whatever reason you managed to see this video, good job on the stun changes. They'll keep those. Those are fine. I like those. I'm going to skip over Guillotine real quick and just go to Hook and Slice. Hook and Slice has no purpose in his kit anymore. It lost its shuffle and is now just a pull 1. It has more accuracy and less crit, which is fine. Wraith can do a lot of crit anyway. Hook and Slice is like, it can hit any rank still, but there's nothing else to it. It's just a pull 1, and it does the same bleed as Guillotine. Going back to Guillotine, its accuracy was lowered by 10, accuracy increased versus stun by 15, added 15 accuracy versus marked. It no longer crits targets if they're below 25 health, or 25%. Now, instead, it always crits versus stuns. Kind of shoehorns them into wanting to be in a stun team. It removed the 6/6 bleed skill amount versus stun, but instead, you got 100% bleed versus marked. That's a decent change, but at the same time, Guillotine, I don't know. It's wildly inaccurate if you're not using it against marked and stuns, essentially. And Guillotine has the same bleed amount as Hook and Slice. So, at base value, Guillotine it's fine, it's whatever, it's a different skill change, it's nothing as significant as Reap changes, but Hook and Slice is now just sitting there, like, why use Hook and Slice when you have Guillotine? You know, I mean, think about it. Which is unfortunate. Here in the footage, yeah, I went through Summered Isles and stuff like that, and had a decent time. I had Milkmaid there in the front, doing some healing and all that stuff. Axolotl being Axolotl, fantastic little class, nice marks and debuff stun chance. I'm also using a harpoon gun where I can like pelt things every turn with Hunt Down. Plus, Axolotl has a nice little riposte when he uses camp. I like Axolotl. The Guillotine is a little strong, but I don't mind her. With some of the tweaks, she performs pretty good. Now, Wraith performs fairly competently in this team because, you know, I built around him. But he just doesn't feel good to play. You know, like I said, you could throw him in a bleed team and he performs comfortably. I mean, he's not the strongest class in the world, but he's an option for bleeds. In the vanilla cast, even, like, what would you run with him in the vanilla cast? You would run, like, Plague Doctor and maybe Occultist? Plague Doctor, Occultist, and then, I don't know, Arbalist. But if you run with, like, you could run with, like, Highwayman and Houndmaster and get some decent synergy with their bleeds. And probably run, I don't know, Crusader or something in the front. You can just ignore marks entirely. I mean, even though Highwayman can mark, you can ignore it and just use, like, Hound's Rush and stuff like that. But Wraith is stronger and is able to hit his higher damage potential. At the cost of just versatility, really. I don't know. Also, I hate these bone whale things. They're annoying. They're absolutely annoying, but they're fun. I've been using Somewhere Out Refreshed, which kind of tweaks somewhere else to be a little bit less painful to go through. Like there's some enemies that have like damage received protection. I forget the exact name of the quote or buff. And Sunward Refresh changes a lot of that. I mean, the big Oni still hit hard. They should. They don't really have anything else in their kit to answer. The Kappas also are less egregious. I always focus them down just for whatever reason. But I kind of said what I wanted to say about the Wraith. It is unfortunate. I liked Wraith. At least his stuns feel good. They're a nice change. But I'll just read off what I said in my community post. Not really vibing with his changes all that much. Sisters, I can at least see why they were changed and accept them, but Wraith just feels off. Reap does high damage for some mark, but loses some of its bleed team synergy. His mark is just terrible, only really used for leads and bosses. Much prefer the crits received debuff. Guillotine is Guillotine, and it's alright, but it invalidates Hook and Slice due to Hook and Slice's changes. Stun move changes are fine. Their stuns, and by their nature, are already pretty good, and they're pretty nice. I would prefer to see a different skill in place of one of the stuns, but it's just Moxnix. The other horrible offender, though, was Hook and Slice. There's no identity to it. You could give Hook and Slice maybe a pull 2, or say screw the pull 2 and like give it break guard. I'll be happy with that. I mean, at least you'll have a reason to use Hook and Slice. Just make it break guard. Just that one change, and then give Reap some of its bleed synergy back. And just those two changes alone. Just keep the mark. Who cares? Just keep the freaking. You'll be a good boss killer. But make Reap have a little bit more energy with bleed, and change up Hook and Slice in some way. My suggestion is break guard. Niche as it is, it has a use. There's a few enemies that already guard, and sometimes you just want to go, break it. You know, like Shieldbreaker's Puncture. Or make it break guard and D-Self, if you want to go that route. But now it's just, it loses its shuffle and it's only a meager pull 1. Not sure what else to say here. Oh yeah, I'm using these Oni rework and Kappa reworks, where they look more menacing and stuff like that. Not that the old Kappa were bad before. I much prefer this wild design of what this Oni is. Look at that lad. Such an amazing mod. I need to get around to updating my mod list for y'all. I've added a bunch and removed a bunch. At some point in the future, I do plan to make like a modding video guide. Like how to use the patcher and how to edit your files and stuff like that for like trinket bloat. Highly recommend doing that, by the way, otherwise your game will crash if you add too many trinkets. Such is the way of things. It's not terribly hard to do. It's just difficult to explain through text. But basically, with the patcher, you download, it's like LAA. You download it, you open up your base Darkest Dungeon folder, you run the patcher, you open it up, you put the exe file of the game, which is, it's the file that, or program that runs Darkest Dungeon itself. You can find it by going right-click Steam Properties, browse local files. You take that, drag it into the patcher, you run the patcher, and you're done. It's brain dead, it's easy. Stuff like editing your files to extend your trinket stuff, you'll need like Notepad++, and that might need a more dedicated video. But, and also I lied, I do have the original audio for this Wraith run, but I don't want to use it. I was way too negative, and I don't like being negative. I really don't. People put their heart and soul in these mods, and I don't want to like shit all over them for no reason. But I feel like I can give constructive criticism as well. And I can criticize things I really don't like. I'll stick with the new Wraith in protest. I'll stick with him. Maybe he'll jive with me later. Because I have to admit, he does hit hard now. I mean, he hit hard before, but now he hits harder. It wasn't that hard to set up his damage before. I don't know why Marv decided to change him. He was fine. He's a little boring, but hey, Bounty Hunter is boring. People like Bounty Hunter. But yeah, I hate those disease worms. Look at them in the front. I think at some point in this video I was going like, look at this stuff. And, you know, over complaining and stuff like that. I was tired, irritated. How long did it work? That kind of crap. But Milkbay is really fantastic. I wish I had just one other frontline healer. Just one more. I think I know of one. Bopot, or whatever the heck it is. It's the Egyptian themed class and it looks like a jackal or whatever. I've seen it in Cerebral's Modlist. In fact, that's where my Modlist was inspired from. I looked at Cerebral's list and I went, okay, I like this, but let me add everything. Now I got like 133 mods. Too many mods, too many classes. It's always constantly like too many classes, man. Too many. The next series I do, after whenever the heck this one ends, whether I get bored of it or whatever, I think I'll do 32 classes. In addition to the vanilla team. I'm mostly running this class because I came back to Darkest Dungeon after 2 years of being inactive in it. I haven't really touched the scene in a while, and I come back, make some videos because I enjoy. I used to stream a lot, and I don't stream anymore due to time constraints, but I can sit down and talk to a microphone and record it. Like what I'm doing now. But, hey, look at those crabs. Those head crabs. Those things right there. Those things give me nightmares. I still have no idea what that thing in the back is, or what they even do. I know these, the little dirty worm, the nuzlocke. These things are like evil in the original Summer Isles tweaks. But honestly, Summer Isles, I need to run it more. It's pretty fun. The Vermintide runs I've been doing are pretty fun too. I've started to realize a lot of those enemies love targeting that back line. It's almost like a gimmick for them. The Halberdiers target the back line, stuff like that. And the Globadiers, those blight guys with the bombs, they love shuffling your party. Oh, I hate it. Those things made me hate them so much I focus fire them before anything. They die first, no matter what. But let me skip ahead in the video just a little bit. Just a little bit. Oh yeah, gotta love maggots. I love head crabs and maggots. Oh look, collector. Alright, here we go. This dude. Oh yeah, we also had a collector run or a fight. I think this is the point in the video where I was like, oh, this is a true test. Oh ho ho. But also I do read every comment. If you guys ever just want to say something, I do read every single comment I get. I still need to catch up on like 30 of them, but I do read them. I try to reply to them. Hey, look at old Collector. I love Collector. It's a boss. He's a big old yellow pinata. He's a good check to whether your team is good or not. I agree with that. I think Shuffle is the one that said that, Shuffle FM, where he stated where the Collector is a good check, team check. If you have a bad team, you're gonna have a bad time. If you have a good team, you can alpha strike them and delete them from the universe. Just poof, gone. But this one, I didn't really have the reach I wanted, so I kind of struggled hitting the collector. If anything, if there's one downside that Wraith has is reach. I mean, sure, he has hook and slice, but hook and slice sucks now. I know I keep being negative about that, but I stand by that. Hook and slice really does suck. It's not a good skill. Not a good skill. But, just got some Monster Hunter music playing in the background. I mean, look at that damage. You can't deny he doesn't do damage now. Oh, Lord. But I think, at some point in this video, I was like going repeat, like, mark and reap, mark and reap, mark and reap. Why stun when you can just mark, reap, delete them? At least he's a premier stunner now. Just me coping with the idea, trying to find some light in this change. But Wraith, Marv, please, 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 please give him some bleed synergy back, please. Yeah, look at it. Full 1, bleed 3 for 3. That's the same as Guillotine. Please give hook and slice something. And reap too. Reap and hook and slice. Anyways, I think I'll let the collector fight play out. Then I'll finish the video from there. But, yeah. I'm enjoying this playthrough so far. And I've also gotten a comment earlier. Just a fresh comment, too. A really long one I need to read through. Do I whine too much? Do I whine too much? I think I do. If I do, I apologize. I'm a very vocal person. I just got a chuckle when I read that. I was like, I do? I just asked myself, I do? Oh, I guess I do, don't I? Alright. Looks like the collector is about halfway down. I think I was getting a little frustrated with the collector because he kept using lifesteal. Like, just die already, you frickin' pinata. Why won't you die? Did a little misplays here and there. Tried focusing him too much. Oh, there we go. We moved him into rank 3. Here we go. Oh, headhunted. This is when the dismiss heads start hurting us a little bit. I think the dismiss heads really did a good number to us. Look at that. He's still hanging in there. He's still hanging in there. I think at this point I try using Guillotine. Oh, look at that. Lifesteal. Collector, you piece of shit. Look at that. It's a reminder that Collector can be a pain. Watch, Guillotine. That was the end of the fight right there. It just feels bad using Guillotine. I don't know how I would change Guillotine. And I remember this moment specifically. I was like, oh, thank you, Axolotl, for having regen on Death's Door. Oh, thank you. Very much so. But, yay, Collector dead. No one died after this. I pushed on for a few more few more hallways. And then kind of left it at that. Let me fast forward a little bit. Oh yeah, I had this fight. This one wasn't so significant. It was just, you know, Kappa and Gong Turtle. Everyone loves those Gong Turtles. I know I do. They're my favorite. I love them. Totally. And Kappa got deleted. Kappa got deleted. It always makes me giggle seeing those things get obliterated like that. My least favorite enemy in Summer Dials. Because they're annoying. Rightfully so. And then you have these things. Man, look at these enemies. Then you have the umbrella in the background just sitting there licking everyone. Honestly, I don't find the umbrellas too annoying. They start off stealth and with the refresh patch I use, they don't feel as bad. At least in the lower levels. I ran a veteran Summer Dials on my other save. And those umbrellas are obnoxious. Alright, then we focus this guy down a bit. Debate about using sap on the big Oni. Yeah, I remember this. I was like, alright, let's use hook and slide, see if we can do it. Oh, look, resisted. I mean, 45 move resist, yeah. It's to be expected. The Gujin, right here, Gujin here is really pretty decent at healing. Try her out. With her, rebalance patch, that is. She's another decent backline healer. And having more healers besides Vestal is nice. I like vanilla classes. I do. I just don't like Vestal. Vestal is only got 4 skills. Oh yeah, look, I'm just staring at Guillotine and Hook and Slice. I can feel my venomous frustration. I'm not so frustrated anymore, I'm just disappointed in the changes. And skipping ahead. Yep, we got the werewolf trinket there. 8,000 gold, 4,500. Some pretty decent stuff, actually. We go in, and I ranted for about, yeah. Oops. Oops-a-daisy. Well, end of that video. Anyways, guys. Wraith changes. The good. The stun changes are actually pretty good. Much needed changes. The Reap change, don't like. Hook and Slice, don't like. The Mark, I'm coming to terms with it. It's like, it's whatever. I prefer the crits received, but it's like, I take it. And then Guillotine just invalidates Hook and Slice because Hook and Slice has no purpose anymore. Reap, I've already beaten the dead horse. Give my boy his Bleed Team synergy back. Just a little bit. Bounty Hunter can function without marks. That's my main point. He can function without them. Pretty damn well, in fact. Anyways, guys. Thank you for sticking around. Thank you if you're still watching this all the way to the end. I thank every single one of you for watching my content. I don't know why. I really don't know why. But, like, comment, subscribe, and all that YouTube jazz. Give me any comments you want. Positive, negative, I read them all. And I just be nice to each other. That's all I ask for. You can be mean to me, I don't give a fuck. I like it, because it gives me a chuckle. I'm a masochist that way. I've got almost 2,000 hours in Darkest Dungeon. That doesn't say anything about myself with this dumb game. I don't know what does. But anyways, I'll see you when I see you. This is episode 79. A little bit different, but hey, it works. It's better than just throwing up a video with a bunch of me just whinging and whining and just sleep-deprived me. I'll just give you this instead. Me talking over that, and still providing some footage of it. Anyways, bye. See you when I see ya.